Avery Wilder is a 2-year industry veteran, stylist, and licensed for 1 year. Today, we're going to hear her startup story, how she went from being a student to being a hairdresser. Did she weigh the in being independent versus going into a salon? How did she find a salon? She told us a little bit about shadowing in previous conversations. So, what was this like? What was this experience like? And where is she now? And what are her plans for the future? Welcome back to the Hairdresser Strong Show. My name is Robert Hughes, and I am your host. And today I'm with Avery Wilder. How you doing today, Avery?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. So I met you. I mean, I feel like I we went to a beta, right?
Yeah.
And then you ended up coming in and taking a class
Mhm.
with me. How did that happen? Was it like a raffle giveaway, or did you buy the ticket, or how did that work?
It was, you did a little quiz with us at the end of your time at the school, and I had the highest score, and so I got the ticket to the Pixie class.
Okay, so you won a ticket. Nice,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so we did that was a foundations cutting, I think, right?
Yeah, for Pixie cuts.
Oh, it was the pixie cutting class.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's right. That was a good class. So that was like a 1 day deep dive. We did like three different short
Mhm.
haircuts, I like the Pixie, couple different ways. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, I look forward to later on in this conversation hearing about what you're doing as far as your craft and stuff. But first, let's get started with so clearly we gave it away already. You went to a beta. You graduated and you got licensed about a year ago.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. And so I guess to get started is well, one, I'm curious. When you joined school, did you have any idea what you wanted to, how you wanted, like, obviously you were going to school so you get a license, cosmetology license, but like, what other thoughts did you have about your future when you signed up for school?
Not many. I had
Okay.
actually never been in a salon before. I'd never used a hair dryer before I got to school, so I was just kinda trying it out. It was something that I was always interested in. And just wanted to explore more.
Nice, nice. Okay, cool. So you signed up with the idea of exploring more. So you not even like you were committed to this being a career.
I wanted it to be, but I truly had no idea what to expect from
Yeah,
it.
you just didn't know enough to be 100. Okay, so you went in thinking like, I think this is gonna be cool, but I'm gonna figure it out as I
Yeah.
go. Okay, cool. All right. So as you're going through, like, at what point in time did you start thinking about the next step and like taking action? And what was that action?
It was in phase 1, so the first 10 weeks of school, we were learning a layered haircut, and during the demo, I, like, cried because it just made sense. The math mathed for me, and that was the first time I've felt like that in anything in my life.
Mhm.
Um, so then I realized I really wanted to, like, focus on cutting and really get my basics down because everyone kept saying, "Once you know the rules, you can break them." So I was like, "If I can learn this, then I can do whatever I want with this stuff." So,
Nice. Okay. So that's when you're like, okay, I'm in the cutting. Okay. So then what did you do with that information? Like, how did you turn that into some sort of action?
I just kept cutting hair. I every
Okay.
chance I had, I did a haircut on my friends, on mannequins. I just kept doing it and figuring out how it worked. Um, and then I was assisting at a salon at the time. Um, And I'd watch the stylist, like, as I was sweeping around their station and seeing and be like, "Oh, okay, like, this is how it works. This is what I wanna do. If I do it this way, then I get this result." So just kinda breaking it down even more past the theory that I learned in school.
Were you in school while you were assisting?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So a little extra credit. Were you going to school part-time or full-time?
I was full-time.
Okay. And so how did you find the salon to assist at?
I they came to a career fair, I believe, and I had applied to a bunch of them that were there because I needed a job. But, this one, they had a lot of great benefits and things, and it was conveniently located, and they had a lot of locations, so if I didn't have a shift at one, they said I could go to another.
Okay. And how far into school were you when you started looking?
I started looking in phase 1, like, at the beginning, but I didn't
Oh, okay.
secure it until phase 2, so the 20 weeks into school.
20 weeks into a what, a 50-week program? More so like that? Or
Yeah, yeah,
something like that? It's like a year about basically.
yeah.
Okay. Just to give context to people who are listening to this who might have different state rules and licensing and stuff. Okay, so you're less than halfway through school before you start going out and applying for salons and trying to get a job. And was that process easy for you to find a place?
Not at all. I had originally applied at a bunch of salons, but this specific one at a different location that they said they were hiring for, it turned out to just be a shadowing experience and they did not have a position for me to fill. So then I went another couple weeks before they reached out and said another branch of their salon needed someone. Um, but before that I was applying to every job trying to get something. And yeah, so it was definitely a struggle to get in there.
How many salons did you interview with?
Um, for my first one, I wanna say about 3.
And okay, and did you have any trouble getting interviews?
Um, I wouldn't say getting the interview was the hard part. I think that they just didn't really know what they wanted. They wanted someone to assist or be a shampoo assistant, whatever they called that position, but they didn't when I said, "Oh, I'm in school, I wanna help with XYZ," they were like, "Oh, we don't really need that, we need a cleaning lady." And I was like,
Mm,
"So."
okay, okay, all right. So at least you knew to ask and talk about what you would be doing because I feel like sometimes the word assistant, like the word assistant is you're assisting the stylist, and the stylist needs assisting because their customer needs a coffee. There's laundry that needs to be done, so you're like assisting the salon by helping the laundry. um, but then there's like assistants who are like assisting a stylist and like applying color or doing blow dries or just shampooing and doing applying toners or whatever. And so like in some places an assistant or an apprentice or something, they do all of that stuff.
Mm.
And so like having the ability to like ask those questions and get clarity about what the actual expectation is definitely not a burden on the applicant, but if it's not being given to you by the interviewee, then it's very smart to ask those questions. So I guess the PSA here, or ISA, industry service announcement, is 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 make sure you can communicate what you want from somebody, because that's going to set you up as a business for finding people who are going to be a good fit. But also, as a student or a new applicant, make sure you're asking the questions just in case that person is either not prepared or not telling you everything. Uh, okay, so you went and worked at the salon, and what was that experience like? So you were assisting, and then you were in school. So did you stay at the same school through the length of school until you graduated, or did you switch salons or anything?
I ended up switching salons after about 4 to 6 months, I believe. Um, it was a chain salon, which I knew I didn't want in the long term. Um, and there was no growth for me there within the next year even. So I decided to make that move early on so that I'm not feeling like I'm stuck there and not having an in to another salon. So I did end up switching to another one around the corner from it. and I started off assisting there, while I was still in school for the last 3 months, I believe, and then I graduated, got my license, and was on the floor there in about 4 months after I got my license.
Okay, so you're in in a salon. You're working there. Are you doing what type of work are you doing?
At that salon,
Yeah.
I started as an assistant, which was classified as it was listed as shampoo assistant, technically salon assistant, so we still did shampoos, toners, general sweeping, cleaning up, and then also the retail area, so restocking, cleaning the shelves, things like that.
All
Um,
very important pieces of the salon for sure. Well, what about classes? Did you get to take any classes?
yeah, so that salon did have a new talent program, which I really appreciated. You had to take all the classes that the salon offered. The new talents are required to go. So there was a couple cutting classes, a blondes class, and then one-on-one, I had a couple of just like, "Hey, I need help learning this haircut," kind of thing.
Okay, cool. So you're getting education, you're getting experience, but they tell you that there's no current opportunity for you to move onto the floor, even if you go through the training program. Is that what they told you?
Not necessarily. So we had to test out at that salon. We had a written and a practical test, like for the salon, separate from licensing or anything. And I had passed the written, which was mostly color theory, and then I passed shortcuts, long cuts, men's cuts, and coloring, but I didn't pass my shortcuts. So they put me on the floor for everything but shortcuts. Um, and even then, I still had to go to all the required classes and everything like that. And then I retested my shortcuts after a couple of one-on-ones with a couple of stylists in there.
And then so wait, I thought you said you didn't have a growth opportunity at that salon.
This is technically the second one I was at.
Oh, okay. So what about the first salon? Like you were taking classes there too?
No, there were no
Oh.
there was no education. There
Ah,
was open chairs, but they didn't explicitly offer them to anybody. They weren't hiring for them. I really was just doing shampoos and sweeping.
gotcha. Okay. So, all right, cool. So then you were like, okay, no, I need to go somewhere that has opportunity. You found a place. You went through the program. You got on the floor, and then you left them.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us
So,
that story.
that was the salon financially wasn't where I felt it should be in order for me to make the money that I wanna be making.
Like, what does
Uh,
that mean? They didn't have enough new client traffic?
Not even that, just it wasn't making a profit. They I don't know where the money was going, but it wasn't in the right places.
How did that come up? Like, how do you even know? Like, I feel like if a business isn't making money, the employees aren't the first people to know. I would think like the business owner would be strategizing to figure like how did that conversation even happen?
It didn't happen for a while, and
Okay.
then a couple of us started looking at our checks and realizing that our commission was off by about 5 to 10%.
That's sorry. I had a similar situation. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we kind of all were talking about it in the break room as hairstylists do,
Oh
and
yeah, dangerous place.
it's, eventually it did come from management that we were gonna have a meeting about, like, the state of the salon, and we were told that they had 3 options. One was to close, the others were to be bought out by someone and hope that we get to keep our jobs, and the third is to raise prices and hopefully get our commission percentage back up. So,
Man,
I wasn't
that's a
feeling any
rough
of those
spot.
options.
Yeah. Well, it's not
Um,
like man, that's tough. So how long were you there before that happened?
I was there just over a year.
Okay. So it sounds like you left not that long ago based on
Yeah,
introduction.
about 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay, awesome. All right. So then you moved again.
Yes.
And this time when you moved, because I think the two salons that you were at were close geographically,
Yeah, they
right?
were both in, DC.
Inside the city. And then
Yeah,
now you're out in Annapolis, right? Which
yeah.
is, at least a 30-minute drive with no traffic. So that's a much further distance, which means any clients you had probably aren't going to follow you, but luckily it was only 4 or 5 months, or no, how long did you say you were there? A year, but you went through training. So hopefully you didn't feel like you were losing too much. So tell us about like that process, like deciding to leave. How do you find the next salon, etc.?
Yeah, so I interviewed at another salon down here that was an Aveda salon because I had only worked with Aveda at that point. Um, and I just didn't really connect with it. It wasn't where I saw myself. It was very upscale is the wrong word. I like elevated services. I like the luxurious feel, but it
So
was
that's the salon that you're at behind you right now, right?
yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you're watching on YouTube, you can see it's a really pretty salon. If you're listening on podcast, there's like a chandelier in the middle of it, and it looks like some pretty decent, nice quality service chairs, and so it looks pretty nice. Okay, sorry, go ahead. I just want, because some people only listen, they don't watch this.
Yeah, so the other salon that I had interviewed with, the Aveda one, was just not the standard that I knew I wanted to be at, and I was hoping that this would be my spot for at least the next 5 years. Um, so I wanted somewhere that I felt comfortable, that I wanted to grow, that I felt like matched who I am. And so after my interview there, I actually just walked down the street looking to see what other salons were in the area. And I found this one. And when I came in, the front desk girl, I love her. She's so sweet. She was so excited. I asked if I could look around. She took me on a tour. And, I got to meet a couple of the girls, and then I applied, and when I came back, she remembered who I was, so it was like it just felt like it was just meant to be once I found it.
Nice, cool, awesome. So, can you? So it sounds like there were really good vibes. It had the aesthetic, or like, I associate the aesthetic with the customer experience. Like, what is my customer going to experience when they're in your salon? That's how I always look at it. So, like, I'm picking a place based on aesthetic and vibes for sure. And it's kind of crazy, like that we make such big decisions based on something that I feel like other people in other industries might think are so emotional or trivial, but like I feel like that's our business. Like that's like we're trying to make people happy and look
Yeah.
good, you know? It's like, oh man. Okay, so all right, so you found a place and and you got to check it out. So tell us a little bit about like what it's looking like for you now, and what you're looking at like for the future, what you're working on right now, anything, any specific techniques or I don't know, anything. It could be a business thing, it could be a craft thing, it could be a personal thing.
Yeah, so, when I got here, I was hired as a stylist, so I didn't have to assist or anything, and actually 2 other stylists had left right when I got here, so I kind of inherited their books for a little bit.
That's huge.
Yeah, it was really good timing on my end, and, like, it sort of died down because they are finding, like, if they mesh with me or not, which at the end of the day, either they're gonna stay or they're not, it's not they liked their hair, but they're like, "Okay, I got my discount for trying you, and now I'm moving on." So but I'm at a point where my clients are coming back, I have my regulars, so
Nice.
I feel really comfortable with that. And I actually just started a barbering apprenticeship to get my barber's license as well. So I'm really excited about that. And yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. So you're adding skill sets, you're building your clientele, you're getting the repeat customers, you're kind of on your way to building your clientele, and that's awesome. That's exciting. So tell me, like, I love the fact that you're at a salon, but that's because I think that everybody should start off at a salon or a shop. That's just my personal opinion. No one has to agree with me, but that's not going to change my opinion. Like, we've seen so many people have so much more success by going into a salon first, gaining all this experience that you've got. I mean, just by working at those few places, I imagine that you've learned so much. I mean, being at a place that's having to have a meeting with you like that, where they like, yo, we're going out of business, but like we have a couple of options. Like just that in of itself, being there and going through that, some people could be thinking about the stress, but like you could also think about like what a learning experience. Like just to, like if you ever want to open up your own business, knowing that if you don't have your money right, then you're gonna have to have some embarrassing conversation like that where you basically just like told everybody you should quit now and run, And so I mean that sucks for those people, but like it's so I don't know. Anyway, so what did you consider going independent out of school? Why not? How did that whole thought process happen? Because I know that's a popular thing. I know it's not as popular now. I don't as it was maybe when you were in school. It seems like it's a little less popular to go straight into independent. People still want to do it eventually, but anyway, tell me what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah. I really wanted to like go into a suite or something out of school, but I knew realistically that it was not possible.
Why?
Because I didn't have a book. I didn't have the skill set that I knew I wanted to have the prices that I wanted to have. Um, and I felt like I learned so much in school because I asked a lot of questions. And if you're by yourself, there's no one to ask those questions to.
Totally.
Um, and then going through all the salons that I was at, there's always someone who knows what you want to know. So there's having those resources of someone who specializes in curly cuts, someone who specializes in color that I can just grab and be like, "Hey, can you just check this?" Even if I did the service by myself, just having that like reassurance that I'm on the right track. And I can't imagine starting without having that. So not having the resources and being like on your own just doesn't seem like a good like business decision.
No, definitely not. Oh, that was good. I did not expect you to say that. And no, I did not prep and ask Avery to say that before. I had no idea. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I would definitely agree with you. So I guess the other quite kind of like feeding off of that, or like kind of off of that question. Um, What is it? I mean, so like you thought about being independent, but you were like, I need to go somewhere where I can grow and I can learn, and so that means that you had to like find a salon that you wanted to actually grow and learn at. And you said, I need somewhere that I'm going to be for 5 years, which to me is the perfect number because 5 years is enough time to build the clientele, build your emergency fund, and then save up like a nest egg of money, not a nest egg, like a pool of money if you want to like do something, start a business, buy a house, whatever, like that investment fund versus like your emergency fund. So like because we noticed like people will save up an emergency fund and then get an opportunity and use the emergency fund to start their business. And then they need an emergency fund for their now they need two emergency funds, one for their business. Anyway, so tell us, for all the salon owners listening, what what do you want to share with them about find like they want to attract someone like you who thinks and talks like you, and like uh, and is like thinking about like their craft and their work as their career, and they're thinking with a longer term perspective. And so like, and we talked about vibes and aesthetics, so like this is I want to kind of like, as we're gonna wrap things up, I like to end with you giving us a piece of advice that's relevant. And so, like in this one, it seems like the most relevant advice would be to the student in school and to the salon owner who wants to hire a person with your kind of attitude and kind of outlook.
Yeah, I say for students is advocate for yourself. Like I said, someone knows what you wanna know, you just have to find them, and I preach that every day in school. Um, you just have to really want it in order to get it. So, if you're not gonna apply yourself 100% and you're not gonna show up and you're not gonna try your best, like, that's how much money you're gonna make. That's the difference between making the big bucks or working at hair cuttery. Like, it's not the same.
No, it's not.
I'd say, like, to salons, just being transparent about what your expectations are of your staff, and then also them being transparent of what they're looking for out of the salon, and just really having that, like, support for your staff. Because if I can't go to my manager and be like, "Hey, like, this happened with this client," or I'm gonna post this. This is what my, like, advertisement's gonna be. If you can't have those conversations to build your own book and protect your own boundaries as a stylist, then it's not gonna be a good spot for you.
Nice, nice. Okay, and so wait, that sounded like that was advice for the student. Is that so?
Yeah.
So what about for the salon owner who's looking to attract someone like you?
Um, I think your guest services staff is the front of your business, so making sure that those are people that are gonna make people wanna come back and interview and things like that, because that meant so much to me that she remembered who I was when I came back for my interview. And just being open to what your stylists have to say. This is their craft, this is their career. It might just be you're the owner of the salon and you might not know anything about hair. So the people who are in it literally are the ones who are going to know what's going to work best business wise and for them as an artist.
Totally. Yeah, totally. Like, I think the old school, like, hey, I'm a really busy and exceptional hairdresser. I'm gonna open up a salon and train a bunch of mini me's is over. Like those days aren't, that's like not really a thing. I mean, some people might have that star power, but that's what most salons were for a long time before social media. Social media disrupted that whole game, and now there's a new game in town, and that is definitely like what you're talking about, like creating a space for people to build and grow a career. It's very different than having a salon that has like it's like, hey, this is Robert's salon, and everyone does hair like Robert in the salon. Like that's not really Robert's salon. Now Robert's salon is Robert's place of stylists who are amazing, but everyone's different and unique and runs their own business. And anyway, that's a whole separate conversation. And a lot of my points I just made are up for debate, and we can have that conversation at another time. But this was very awesome. I don't think I realized even in talking to you some of the dynamics that you had to deal with so early in your career, and I love the fact that you're here still because like some people quit when they experience that adversity because they think like the industry sucks. Like you were at one place, you could have been super negative about it. It's like, oh, the first place you're at, you're like, oh well, like they have these chairs, like they're not gonna promote me. It must be because their business sucks and they just want to keep me as a cleaning lady and I'm being exploited. I'm gonna go somewhere else. And then oh my gosh, this salon, they can't even run their books and now they've been stealing from my paycheck and now I'm just gonna like go and like do something else. And that's like a not an uncommon thing. Or they end up going independent, but because, like you said, you didn't have the resources, you end up kind of failing out of being independent, and then you definitely think it's the hair or the industry or people suck. whatever. I'm so happy to see you here. I'm so happy to see you smiling and so happy. I'm so glad you found a place. And I really do appreciate you taking the time to share your story, sharing your advice with others. And I definitely want to talk more in the future. But until then, is there any last thing you'd like to share or say before we sign off?
Advocate for yourself even once you get a job. Keep pushing, get your education, keep getting education.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you again. And until next time, I'll see you later.
Thank you so much.